Hey guys, welcome to the Next Rank YouTube channel with Johnny and Jack. It's a new year and it's time to get a new rank in 2026. Hopefully you guys are all ready to learn some mistakes that you guys are probably making if you're in the Grand Champ ranks like I am. Hard stuck, never SSL, never pro. But Jack's just in free play right now. We're going to jump into a replay in a minute and show you guys the first of 5 mistakes that we think are really common around about the Grand Champ ranks. But even if you're not Grand Champ, you probably still will learn something from these, so stay tuned. Alright, so the first example here is challenging when your teammate is not ready behind you. You can see here that Josh, apparently, maybe a fan of yours, Jack, has missed an open net. Looked like a tough angle, fair enough. Now he's rotated back with no boost, and we've immediately jumped. We've just forced super early before our teammate's ready to follow, and the other team to get a goal here. So, yeah, where does this all go wrong, Jack? So it doesn't look that egregious, but this is a common mistake.
Yeah, this is one of the most common mistakes I'd say that we see in GC. And it's also the easiest to fix, pretty much, I would say. It doesn't require any mechanics. It's simply just you have to think about the game. You can fix this by watching replays. You don't have to be fixing this by playing the game. So, yeah, this one it happens a lot. There's just a few things that we have to look out for here. Our teammate misses the open net. That's fine. It's a little bit of a tough
angle. On brand, actually.
Very on brand for the apparently names in Rock League. But yeah, he misses the open net, gets his boost stolen, doesn't have the ball anymore. And we know that. We can see all this, right? We might be focused on the ball, but we should be paying attention to everything that's happening around as well. We now know that our teammate has 0 boost. He has to go all the way back. If we take a look at it as well, we should know that this mid boost has a high chance of not being up because there's a player rotating on this side of the pitch. Now, again, this is very easy for me to say, especially in a replay, but it is something that we should be picking up on when we're playing the game. So this boosts high chance of not being up. And because of that, our teammate now has to go all the way back to our corner. We have to buy time for him, basically. We can't just jump straight away and try and pre-jump this air dribble and read it. It's too risky. If you think about the rewards for this play going well, the reward is we 50 it forward, and our teammate's not going to be ready to follow it up. We're going to be floating in the air. We can't follow it up. So the player on the other team's teammate who's on the ball, here, this guy, he can just pick up a free ball in the back off this 50. So the outcome of this going perfectly is still we're losing possession and we're not going to have the ball. Thank you for inviting me. The worst thing of this kind of situation is, teammate's not ready behind us, is simply going to get beat every time because he's in the corner. We have to buy time for him. We have to wait for our teammate to be facing forward behind us with boost. Okay. Ideally with boost. If they're just in a good position with a low amount of boost, it's fine for us to challenge. But ideally they have boost. Ideally they're facing forward, and they have to be fairly close as well. Only then can we challenge. Now, how do you work that out? How do you work that time out? You obviously have just a timer in your head, kind of a natural timer going on when you're playing the game. Some players' kind of natural timers are a little bit better than others, but you can improve that. You have to think about, how long is it going to take my teammate to get back to the corner boost and then turn and get behind me? And you know how long it takes you to do that when you're playing the game. You have a rough estimate of it. You have to keep that estimate and then you challenge once it happens. Alternatively, you just look at them, right? You use your right stick, you use ball cam on and off, you pay attention to your teammate, you actually look at them, and you only challenge when you see they're facing forward behind you. And the last point on this one that I will say before we move on to the next point is this happens most in your opponent's corners. It's the easiest position on the pitch to overcommit in. I don't know why either. It just is. It feels safe. It feels like players can just challenge, but it's the place you don't want to challenge in the most. And you're going to get outplayed. There's a wall nearby the corners as well, so you can get these kind of weird, flicks and land on a surface sooner than you would if you're just landing on the ground. So basically, it's easier for the person on the ball to recover and outplay another player quickly. And that makes it extremely dangerous for you to challenge in this position. And then especially when your teammate isn't ready behind you. But even if they're ready behind, you have to be very careful with how you go about challenging in the corners, especially. I just wanted to throw that one in quickly. Your best bet is most of the time to fake challenge in the corners and try and play more of a mind game type of challenge to get the ball off your opponent, or a less committive challenge, like a drive challenge, for example. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. You're just driving through. It keeps your speed up. You can instantly rotate behind your teammate. You're not flipping, and you're not killing all your momentum through the challenge, and that's the most important thing.
Alright guys, the second example in the video is not realizing when you have time and therefore not using the time you've got effectively. So right there, that was it. We had a chance to just take a 1v1 situation off the deck in 2v2, and instead of taking the time, although it actually kind of looked like we did take the time for a moment there, and then we didn't. So this is a weird one, but it looks like we've taken the time here to assess the situation. We're arriving at a good time. Actually, don't immediately go here, which would have been fair if you thought the second man of the other team is going to dive, which very often they will when the ball's middle like this. We don't immediately pop this to the sidewall, though. Instead, we've shot it, which is, I mean, not the worst thing in the world.
No, it's not.
But in a 1v1 situation, when you're playing twos and you've got a really nice dribble like that lined up, you have to seize the opportunity. That is just a position where you get a quick first touch, and then you're threatening all kinds of things that are much more likely to result in a goal than a shot from that range.
Definitely, yeah. Like you said, it's not the worst thing in the world, right? Like it doesn't concede the goal straight away. We can still follow up this hit here by going for a 50 on this last guy. We almost get a block into the corner, and we can go again. It's just not perfect, right? And even though we can't reach perfection, we are trying to we are trying to get better. And yeah, like you said, it's a bit of a weird one because. All right, so the ball goes up the wall. The opponent somehow pogoes off the back. Oh no, he doesn't. Sorry, I thought he pogoed off the backboard and like hit this mid, but he like hit his head and then landed and then hit it out. It was a very weird pass, but either way,
it's a good pass. Actually.
It's a very good pass. Yeah,
bad recovery, good pass.
Yeah, really good. But either way, the ball bounces mid. We're clearly slightly worried about the opponent's teammate coming in for the shot, but we're not like. We're not really worried because, like you said, we don't get up instantly. We don't double jump. We don't go fast. We don't panic. But then we do last second. It's a very strange one, right? So in this circumstance, we have to be obviously extremely aware of what the opponent is doing. We need to be looking not at the ball here, because looking at the ball with our eyes, looking at the ball doesn't do anything. You can still have ball cam on, but you have to be looking down at the ground for the opponent. Right? And then you would be able to see they're far away. Whether you want to turn ball cam off as well whilst you're doing this, that can help. If you want to do that, you need to become comfortable at aerialing towards balls with ball cam off based off of the circle on the ground. I know that sounds weird, but you'll see that pros can do that, and high level players can do that with not pros as well. You can aerial at the ball based off of the circle. You just fly straight up towards a circle. That you see on the ground when you have ball come off, and that allows you to keep a better eye on your opponent, but also be able to go for the ball in case they're about to go for it, right? So you need to be able to do both. You need to be watching your opponent. That's the most important thing here. And if we did all that, take time, right? We just dribble. You never just boom this away. Especially because we should know that this guy is on low boost, and we should be thinking about this, right? The orange player that's going for this ball has just used boost to get there. He's missed the open net. He's used boost to drive towards it. He's used boost to jump towards it. We know that he's maximum. If he's somehow on 20 boost here, he's done insane, right? That's a low amount of boost. It means that he can't challenge us, right? We have to
look at where he's floating down as well,
exactly.
By the way. He looks like he's on zero.
Exactly. He would be boosting down if he had a little bit of boost left over. He wouldn't just be floating like this. And these are, it might sound like we're being nitpicky, but these are the things you should be thinking about. And because of that, we can take time, we can dribble. We don't have to worry about this guy. It's purely a 1v1 with a player that's defending backwards and also quite far away. So it should almost be a very good kind of chance of scoring every time here instead of giving away possession.
All right, and another example of the same thing happening. This is from the same game. Actually, all these clips are from the same game, kind of highlighting how common these mistakes are. We just randomly found this replay. But right there, again, this time it's the other player. It's not your apparently fan club player there, Jack. It's his teammate who's, just panicked in a situation where there's not really that much danger, if any danger, being threatened. Again, we're in a kind of a 2v1 briefly. But we're just rushing. We have so much time to bring the ball down and to make a good touch, get a good dribble started, maybe a ground to air dribble off a nice bounce like this. But we're panicking. We're throwing ourselves at the ball in the off chance that this T7MA guy dives from way back, which doesn't look like it's happening. But like you said before, Jack, if you just have either one eye or both eyes or peripheral vision on T7MA, you can see that he's not imminently close. He's not shooting this in the next second.
Yeah,
he has to get around the ball as well. So we've even if he does dive, we've got plenty of time to just get in position and get goal side and get a favourable 50, because he'd be diving in our back corner, like we told you not to do in the first example of this video. So
Exactly.
we have so much time here. There's really nothing being threatened, and we're just we're panicking.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a similar situation. Like you said, you just have to be looking at places that aren't just the ball, right? I understand, like, and most of your time in Rock League should be looking at the ball, right? It's the most important thing on the pitch. But you need to be splitting your vision, or at least splitting your attention to other places. And yeah, similar thing, right? The ball is stuck in the corner. The ball is also moving extremely slowly on all these touches. Both of those things are usually kind of telltale signs that it's actually quite safe, even though it might seem awkward. The play is quite safe, right? Because the angles are limited and the speed is limited, so the angles will stay limited, if that makes sense. It won't change. And so you have to be aware of those things. You need to understand that the situation actually isn't dangerous, even though it might feel uncomfortable because there's a lot of awkward small touches. Everyone's bunched up. And that means that you can simply take time. Now, I understand why we jump. We might think that there could be an opponent on the wall ready to drive up it and shoot this. But like Johnny said, we can react to stuff like that. So in situations like this, I want you guys to try and do this type of movement next time you get into this position. When a ball goes up towards kind of the wall area like this, and we're near the corner, instead of driving up the wall and towards it, I actually want you guys to drive up and then away. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not playing the ball, right? What it means is that if this guy goes, we're driving away, he's going to get a shot, but we're just going to be back, and we can then hit it into this corner and we can get possession, right? As long as we control our car, which granted you have to do for all these things. We're just going to be ready for the shot. We're going to be ready for the slow touch, whatever it is. If we drive away, we can then come down, play the slow touch, whatever it is. If the opponent fakes or doesn't go, well, the ball will bounce off the wall. We'll drive this way slightly. We'll drive down the wall, and then we'll have a free ball on the bounce right here. Every time, I promise you. So you're playing the best of both worlds. You're playing the world where your opponent goes and tries to rush the shot, doesn't get the best shot. Even if it's a good shot, we'll probably be able to save it because of our good positioning. And we're playing the world where the opponent doesn't go and we have time with the ball. And in doing that movement, it might seem simple. It might almost seem too simple for that to be the fix. But that's what players do at high level. It helps you cover everything with one simple change in the direction that you're turning. So try that next time when you're kind of in corners like that. Instead of rushing and turning towards the wall, turn back. You'll still be able to cover both of the things that you're trying to cover anyway.
Okay, the third example of things you need to look out for, mistakes you need to look out for, around about Grand Champ, is trying to be too mechanical in the air for no reason. And this is something I'm sure you don't even need a visual, but we're going to give you an anyway. There we go, reset on what looks like a partially open net. Yeah, but you guys, I say this and you probably all go, oh yeah, that's me. I am guilty as charged, trying to be too mechanical in the air too often, which for me constitutes simply trying to hit the ball twice in the same aerial. Way too mechanical for me. Need to keep it simple. One touch maximum. But yeah, more jokes aside, more likely it's going to be too many flip resets, too many really advanced stuff when it's not necessary. A lot of the time, the simple option is just simply better. And we're not trying to tell you guys to not practice these higher level mechanics. We do want you to look for opportunities to do them. But doing it every single time, not only is it picking the worst shot, picking the worst option, and hindering yourself and your team, hindering your recoveries and your ability to score, but it's also making you predictable. If you just do the same, air dribble or reset every single play because you're working on your air dribbles or resets, you become very predictable. The opponents can punish that as well. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, like you said, we really want to stress this as well. We don't want you guys to stop going for things in the air or feel like you're limited to only doing the basic stuff. Like there's simply a time and place for it. And a lot of time you should be pushing yourself to try new things. But again, we're trying to win ranked games at the same time. There's a balance. Things like this, we just have to think about the overall situation before the mechanic we're trying to do. Okay, so the overall situation is the kickoff's gone drastically in our favor, right? We've got the mid boost and we've also got the possession in front of the opponent, okay? Or in front of one of the opponents. That means that they're both going to have to rush back. On low boost, only one of them is going to be able to get the corner. And granted, he's mid-flip whilst this ball has already gone off the wall. We're about to jump. He's mid-flip. He's already committed to that path. It's quite far away, and this guy is completely out of the picture for this next touch, okay? Because of those things, the best thing that we can do, by the way, not even speaking about our teammate, the teammate's about to get 100 boost and then turn on the side that possession is most likely going to go into next. So all these factors basically point to just trying to speed up the play as quick as possible is the best thing for the orange team here. I think the teammate missed the mid boost, so completely disregard what I just said about this guy being ready, right? Those are, there's very.
It happens.
It happens, like especially at GC. There's some things might not go exactly as planned, but even if stuff like that happens, I promise
Bob.
you, go on, Bob. You got to get that
Bob.
mid boost, man. It's always Bob. Yeah, even if those things happen, speeding the play up when your opponents are wanting to buy time for themselves. That's the most important thing. They're happy that you slow this down, right? Like, if I'm the blue player, I'm like, thank God he slowed this down. The ball is now moving at 2 miles an hour. This guy, it's no threat, so this guy can just leave and go for the boost, right? They're comfortable, and they have a 2v1 now. So just shoot straight away. I think you score. And even if you don't...
Yeah,
if the,
a good shot is a goal here, if he hits it properly.
I think so. I think you can just get up quickly, shoot off the wall, yeah, and you score. And even if the opponent does get back, most of the time, Bob won't have missed this boost, and then he's going to be there for the following touch. We're still going to have offense and pressure. So, yeah, just think about the mechanics we're trying to do and the actual outcome it's going to give us. The outcome is that we score a really nice goal, and it's worth 1 point on the scoreboard, and the other outcome is that, well, most likely we're going to miss, right? Whereas going for a least mechanical play, it probably works out a little bit more often in this circumstance, and you're only going to get 1 point if you score anyway, right? So same amount of points for any type of goal you score. That's what I would say here.
All right, guys, another example of trying to do too much in a position where it really isn't necessary. And this is more of a hedging our bet scenario. The other one was just a open net if we hit the ball properly. This one we have to be a bit careful. We've hit a really heavy first touch off of our teammate's center ball. Our teammate, unlike Bob, who should have been ready in the last clip, he's not ready. Our teammate is really not in position to back us up on this play. And with a first touch like this, we need to immediately realize, okay, that's not a ball I can really do anything off of. I'm just going to hold on to my 50 boost I had after I made that touch and recover, because our teammate's literally in the other team's goal. So we can't, we've done the same thing. Now we're in the other team's goal, and we've left our teammate in a 2v1. So what could have been just an even midfield play turns into a free goal for the opponents, all because we've decided to donate 50 boost to the atmosphere of Wasteland Night, hopelessly flying at the ball, which happens all the time. This is a it might look like an odd example you're telling us, well, obviously, yeah, this is bad, you don't need to tell us this. This happens all the time. Players will speculatively fly forward, use all their boost, can't get back. The teammate has to make a hero 1v2 play. Yeah,
and he misses the ball. And it's so easy to blame our teammate in this situation because he just misses really badly. But we do that as well at GC, right? Everyone misses these types of touches. Whether you think you're the best GC in the world, you always miss this type of touch, right? It just happens every now and then when you're playing the game. So we can't blame our teammate because we're just putting them in a position where a mistake like that is going to be a goal. Whereas if we're behind him, a mistake like that might not be the goal, right? So we're just increasing the chances we get scored on. Okay, so let's look at it from this guy's point of view, which is what we're trying to complain about, I guess, in this instance. The pass is bad, right, from our teammate. The pass is awkward. It's behind us slightly. It's bouncing. It's not even bouncing in front of our car. It's bouncing and then going above. It's awkward, right? We got to understand that. But once you see that pass come at you, you have to realize that the play is no longer going to be one that you can score from, and you're trying to actually buy time and not concede from this position. Even though it looks like we have possession, you have to know that any touch here you get isn't going to be controlled. You can control this touch, but you have to be a really high-level player. You have to be extremely good, and that's what we're trying to do. And I understand, try and improve your mechanics, sure, but once the touch isn't controlled, back off, because this ball is just going to be able to be hard cleared. This guy's on 100 boost to be able to play off of the hard clear from his teammate. Counter-attack, goal, right? You can see it happening as it kind of plays. It honestly should have been scored quicker, because this guy, if he was if he was really paying attention, he would see that this is a clean beat, and he wouldn't turn back to that, and he would actually just turn forward in this position, because it's always going to go over this guy, and he just scores off the wall or off an aerial or whatever. I mean, that's the best counter-attack. Whether it would actually happen or not, I don't know, but it could happen, right? Very easily. yeah, what we want to do, just try and get any touch, try and buy your teammate time. Don't fly after the ball. Try and touch this ball to the left side of the goal. Ideally, somewhere here is perfect. It won't go in because this guy will always save it because he has momentum. But you're just trying to play it out of the way of this player on the backboard for as long as possible. That's all you're trying to do. And then we can get back and reset and hopefully look for a better chance to score next time. And going for plays like this is going to be more and more common in GC because the level of Rocket League is going higher every day. And players are getting more comfortable with their cars. So they are starting to, or have been starting to, like, limit test themselves and with plays like this, right? And so you're going to find yourself in GC, you're going to find yourself wanting to do the same. And you should, to push yourself, but again, realize the time and place for it, right? You know, once it doesn't happen for you, back off from it and try and do it next time with a better first touch kind of thing.
Okay guys, the fourth example in today's video is going to be autopiloting forward in defense too early. So this is a pretty, difficult one to spot sometimes. You might not even realize you're making this mistake, but really we're on the POV of the player making the mistake here. We can watch it again and you can see that they in this case it's not so much an autopilot, but well, in the sense that they're just moving forward slowly, but they're thinking, okay, we're in the counter attack now, let's go, our turn to attack, and then the ball goes middle again and we're not ready to contest the mid, and it's just an easy goal for the opponents. And if we look at the opponent's POV of this, it looks even easier. It's very straightforward what they do here. There's really nothing fancy. They just literally chip the ball middle, and then the opponent is right, the teammate's right there to score it. So you need to be really careful with this one. When you and your teammate are trying to get the ball out of defense, don't just think that because they've got one touch in the back corner, that it's now your team's turn to counterattack. It's your turn to go, full, all guns blazing. Wait until you're sure, because very often the ball's just going to get pinged back middle with a dunk, or just sometimes a clean touch like this one. Yeah. And if you're not ready to contest it, it's just a really easy goal for the opponents.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a really easy mistake to make. I mean, like, in all honesty, like, in my last pro team, like last year, we was making this mistake at pro level over and over and over and over again. We had to like drill it into our minds, and we did get a lot better at it, and it helped our level as pros to work on this. So as the speed of play increases as you go through the ranks, you're always gonna start making mistakes that you previously fixed. So you might have fixed this mistake of yours in a previous rank that you're in, but because the speed of play increases, you then increase your speed of doing things, and you think you can do things earlier than you actually can, right? And that will always be the case for as long as you play Rocket League. For as long as you play this game, you'll always make these types of mistakes. You just have to kind of keep drilling them into your mind. You can't do things like this, even if it looks like your teammate has outplayed the opponent because they got the 100 boost, which is obviously a key thing here, and they got the ball kind of past them slightly, and they have momentum, which means they're going to maybe be able to get the next touch. So it does look like we can just hit this past the opponent, but the opponent's actually done a very good job. He's kept his speed really well. Our teammate hasn't done a terrible job. He maybe could have boosted a little bit sooner, but that's it. I still think he was getting beat, and I still think we would have overcommitted. We have to wait until this ball from our teammate is like actually past the opponent, like fully past them, with their car and the ball, and then can we start to push out of net, okay? We have to be careful of these types of cuts, and we need to still be waiting behind and forward facing. So you have to be further back than we are here, and then we can go into balls that are loose in the midfield like that one was, and we can contest them properly. So yeah, I would say that this is a really easy mistake to make. By the way, Johnny, it's actually a combination of most common mistakes that we've had in this video. We have a pure overcommit in the corner. we actually got very lucky that we bumped this, or not lucky, but just the situation was that we bumped this guy through the challenge. And even if we bumped this guy through the challenge and it allowed our team to have time, it still doesn't matter because this guy is like comes from all the way across the pitch and is still first to this ball. So a combination of mistakes, which leads to the goal here. So yeah, just to really kind of drill in how common these types of mistakes are. It's 2 in 1 here that leads to us conceding when we were initially in offense.
Okay, let's take a look at very quickly the teammate's POV just before we finish this one up, because like Jack said, he does mostly fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, as he turns around, he realizes, oh yeah, we're just getting scored on immediately. And I'm sure you guys have seen this POV as well as the original POV, because this is so common. And the idea that you want, or where you want to see your teammate when the ball goes mid like this, as soon as the camera pans across, you don't want to see your teammate under the ball and backwards from where he needs to be, half flipping. You just want to see your team. If you see your teammate in net there, brilliant, because now he can pass the ball up to you. He can just he can attack this, he can challenge it. And yeah, the other team do very well to connect a low boost play and to convert on it. It's a good job to them. But yeah, it's all in that little initial movement. I think this is where players really get it wrong. From the Coley POV, he just, that little reverse there, now he's reversed into the position you don't want to be in. If he just went a little bit into the net, like Jack said, and then assess the situation, he would have all the options. He could easily still support the attack if one more touch happens for his teammate. If there's just one more touch, if he just goes circle into the net, just let's see what happens. Let's just hang around mid, just in case. And then if he sees one more good touch, okay, cool. Now he can push up mid, ready for a pass, ready for a follow-up. He doesn't lose any of that counter-attacking potential. It doesn't. By being just a couple of car lengths further back.
Gains from it. Like the thing that we have to think about as well, right, is that what is if it goes well, if it goes perfectly, right? What is the outcome? The outcome, right, if it goes perfectly, is Choid hits it past the opponent, and then we've done like this fake half flip by where we just jump and turn, right? And then we're facing forward behind our teammate and we can attack behind him. That's fine. But is it any better than if we were in this position a moment ago? Is it any better than here, keeping our momentum going, driving through like this, and then circling here, right? Which allows us to cover the defensive position and then allows us to face forward, also to the side, which is, I would say, arguably better in a 2v1 position, because it gives us the option to play for, let's say, this ball now goes up the wall, past the opponent. We would be here. We'd starting to be facing forwards, right here. And we can push up like this. It gives the option for the quick pass across the pitch. It gives the option for us to allow our teammate to go solo and we look for the bump. It gives us the option to slow down and play behind our teammate for the 50. All three of those options, those are the three things that you have to think about in offense in this position. Whereas being behind here, we play for the 50, and that's about it, which is fine as well, but it's not as good as the other option, right? So realistically, doing what we just did, even if the situation went perfectly, it's still not as good as doing the more conservative option of playing for defense first, right? So yeah, I would just be careful with pushing out of net, especially because it's so easy in Rock League to become to go into an autopilot state when your teammate has the ball. You have to really think about your positioning, because we know that this game, the positions can change, extremely quickly within a half second. We have to be ready for anything to happen, basically.
All right, guys. So far today in this video, we've had as mistakes, challenging when your teammate is not ready behind you, not understanding when you got time, trying to be too mechanical in the air, and autopiloting forward in defense into bad positions. But we've saved the best to last. We've got not playing the ball on challenges. This is a theme throughout every rank. You'll probably see this in every single video that we make on these topics of typical mistakes at different levels. But here we got me on the ball, threatening all kinds of things with my no boost, and I've outplayed them. The opponents. He's seen a ghost or something. He's just blown past the ball. I don't know what on earth he was thinking, because he knows I'm boost starved. I've just had to make 2 stops in a row. He steals my boost, and then I don't even make a good first touch. I'm threatening absolutely nothing, and he's just gone flying past the ball. This is Grand Champ 2, by the way, just because I know people are going to say that this is like Diamond or something, because it does look Diamond, maybe Plat. But yeah, this Grand Champ 2, players just, I don't know, they don't hit the ball. So it's probably a mistake worth putting in our video here. This guy
has his camera settings in the ground, and he still gets. I don't know. Yeah, this is a really common mistake, and I mean, it's not even just this guy that we're talking about. Mainly this guy, because he double jumps in this position. Yeah, you want to play the ball, right? Especially as the first man. Just play where when we say play the ball, because I know that some people might not understand what that means, right? You're playing where the ball is. when you're challenging, right? Where it actually is,
Just
like not,
hitting the ball.
yes,
Yeah.
not where it's not where it's going to move to, like just purely where it is when you press jump and when you're flying towards the ball. And even to the point when you know that even if you know that your opponent is going to cut it, sometimes you still play where it is or slash was, because you're still forcing them to a certain direction, which allows your teammate behind you to understand where it's going to go to next, right? So you have to really be disciplined with stuff like this, okay? So especially as first man, just play the ball, flip through the ball. Even as second man, right? I mean, we slightly turned to the right, which, by the way, like, is out of all the positions that we're most concerned about, I would say it's probably the side that our opponent has another opponent on, right? He has a teammate on. I don't know why we turned to the right last second. It just purely makes no sense. But
it looks like he's trying to get a dunk on me, maybe score. But again, that's like very autopilot, just thinking, oh, the opponent's goal's that way, so he hits the 50 towards the goal at the last second.
But
it doesn't really make sense.
If anything,
by the way, that is Shogun. For those of you asking, he's playing as he's disguising himself as
this guy here. Yeah,
this is Shogun with an incredible open net. Look how safe that was. No nonsense. No risk.
Really, no
just
nonsense.
A simple open net. Really good stuff by Shogun.
Yeah, definitely. No, I do like that one a lot. But I also like your play. And by the way, the inverse of this video that a lot of you or some of you will kind of pay attention to as well is all these mistakes, right? That you're hearing that are GC mistakes, you can then just take advantage of, right? So plays like this, where you know that your opponents have a higher chance of just being insane, right? In challenges, you can just start to go low. You can just start to do single jump challenges because it will bait them in. It will allow you to basically manipulate where the ball is going to go, right? It will. If you get good at it by playing ones, focus on 50s, focus on that side of the game, you can start to just run rings basically around some of these players. Like you can, but yeah, you have to think about it. You just have to think about playing the ball on challenges. It's a simple concept.
It's crazy. Just simply hit the ball as first man. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's going to take you really far. I think there is actually another one in this game as well.
Is there in this
game? Which is kind of mind blowing. I think it's the same game. I don't remember when, but you'd think they would have learned their lesson. It's not this goal. Yeah, I think it's just a kickoff goal. You'd think they would have learned their lesson after you get faked by nothing. It's this one. This is just so silly. So somebody's got to hit the ball there because Shogun's double fake them. It's a really beautiful goal. You don't get many of those these days because people do generally hit the ball more. But yeah, well played, Shogun. Yeah,
definitely. It's a little bit of an insane one. We actually do have another example of this, which is probably a more common example. Let's go to it now.
Okay, guys, the last example for today's video. This is more of a defensive application of the same thing. We want to play the ball on challenges, not just in offense as first man, but also in defense as first man when we're supporting our teammate.
Especially in defense as first man.
Yeah, we're not actually doing anything. We're just floating in front of the ball.
Yeah.
And kind of fake challenging in the air, which it doesn't make sense. This just fakes our teammate. It doesn't fake the opponent. The opponent is probably delighted that we've done this. They've messed up their play as well. Maybe trying to be too mechanical in the air. They should have watched this video. But we need to just simply hit the ball here. Hit it into the back corner. The opponent's not going to see us coming if we just challenge from their blind side and guide the ball into the back corner. It's going to be a very easy defensive possession for our teammate. Maybe even a 2v1 on the attack if the opponent messes up the recovery. But kind of just floating in front of the ball here, not making any contact with it, like at any stage. Like we've just got to go for the ball here. If we get outplayed, it's fine. We've got a teammate behind us. But if not, great, we're hitting the ball. It's a very simple concept, but we see this mistake at all ranks, but it's especially at GC as well.
Yeah, definitely. Now, just to be clear, Johnny's saying to 50 this ball into the opposite corner. This is the easiest
the back
place.
Corner.
Yeah, this one here. This is the easiest place to get this ball into because we're challenging from the other side, right? So we're challenging from the other side. If you just single jump and then flip into this ball, you can double jump as well, but it increases your chances of getting faked, like playing too high slightly and getting faked. So single jumping is the best option. Using your flip, flip into the direction of the corner. You will 50 it into that side every time. And even if you can't get there for it, just playing the ball is your best chance. Now, right, so let's go through the steps because double jumping is a really common thing on these types of challenges, but it just increases your odds of playing too high, right? Because you've already gotten high and then it's harder to get lower after. So we want to single jump. It allows us to hold our flip so we can change direction last second if the opponent does something that we weren't thinking that they were going to do. We can change direction. It allows us to also bump the opponent through the challenge more times than if we double jumped, which gets the opponent off the ball. That's perfect for our teammate behind us. And yeah, lastly, just don't hover. Don't hover like this. Don't play where the ball is going to be. Play where it currently is. If the opponent was really paying attention to this player challenging, which they should be, because we've seen this last guy flip, Alfie, because we've seen our defender that we're trying to beat flip, we know that his teammate is going to cut most of the time. If he's paying attention, he hears that he's double jumped. He should also be kind of looking. He's heard that he's double. Just don't flip. If he doesn't flip, if he goes to the ground, he's beaten him, right? If he goes to the ground now, doesn't flip, after he gets his flip set, doesn't flip, goes to the ground, this guy will continue flying and he's gone past him, right? So then it's simply a 1v1 with a player that's backwards and also the space between them. So it allows you to flick, it allows you to shoot, it allows you to bump, it allows you to low 50 for your team behind you, low 50 into the goal, delay the 50, it allows you to do everything. So because we've double jump challenged and not played the ball, we have actually not done anything. We've not done anything. We've not actually forced anything, even though it's not a goal. And this is a really common thing that people get wrong. Like, oh, it's not a goal, so it was fine. But that's not how Rocket League works, right? It's not a goal because maybe the opponent messed up. Maybe your next opponent won't mess up, right? So we have to still look at the mistakes. And the mistake is that we actually didn't force anything, even though it might look like we did. The ball still gets into a dangerous spot. Granted, it's not a goal, but it doesn't really matter. We have to be careful of it. And this is really common. This mistake happens at SSL. Like, this mistake happens at high SSL. Like, it will never stop happening. But if you can be one of the players that don't let it happen, you can become a lot better. The only thing you have to think about as well is that you're not the main kind of character in this play, right? Your teammate is. That's you're playing for your teammate in this position whenever you're challenging. That's what you have to think about. You're not going to score the next goal based on the counter attack from this position. Your teammate will, if anyone from your team is going to score a goal. You're just trying to get the ball to him in the best and easiest way possible for him to get free possession, right? That's all you have to think about.
All right, guys. And seriously, this time, last clip, we're back. I just wanted to watch more of my gameplay.
Of course,
I mean, look at that 50 back corner
playing
to Shogun, who's giving it away. But I mean, you'd think they would have learned by now. You'd think they would have learned. No, they haven't learned. Just again, not playing the ball in the challenge. And you look at this, Jack. This is how you score an open net.
Okay,
no nonsense. Just walking it in.
Okay.
No risk. Just driving into the ball.
I'll write that one down.
Just see. I think your open nets are going to improve if you just think of it like you're challenging. Just play the ball. You know.
True.
Just
true.
Don't think of it like an open net. That's too scary.
Okay.
Like you could try it now, actually.
Yeah.
Just like think of it like you're challenging. There you go. You're challenging the low 50. There we go. Oh, low 50ing the ball into the open net. I think you've just become a better player.
I have.
But hopefully you guys have as well with these common tips at Grand Champ.
Definitely, guys. If you have learned something from this video, let us know what it was in the comments. If there's anything that you think we missed, feel free to share it in the comments. Feel free to roast your GC teammates for things they do wrong, because it's definitely something you do wrong as well. Guys, if you have enjoyed, be sure to drop a like. Check out all of our other videos on the channel. Check out our course, of course, at thenextrank.com. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.